Does Atlantis was real? Forbidden ruins reveal the truth beneath the ocean. What would you say if I told you that monumental structures are being discovered on the ocean floor at this very moment? Structures that challenge everything we know about human history. Today, we're going to dive, literally, into the deepest mysteries of our oceans. To investigate a question that has haunted humanity for millennia: did Atlantis really exist? Get ready, because the evidence you'll see today might completely change your perspective on our origins. Ever since Plato first mentioned a lost civilization called Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias around 360 BC, this legend has captured the imagination of explorers, archaeologists, and dreamers around the world. But what if I told you it's not just a legend? In recent years, underwater archaeological discoveries have revealed structures so advanced and ancient that they're forcing scientists to completely rethink our understanding of prehistoric civilizations. Some of these discoveries are so controversial that academic institutions prefer not to discuss them publicly. Let's start with something that will blow your minds. In 1985, Japanese divers discovered a massive submerged structure near Yonaguni Island, Japan. This structure, known as the Yonaguni Monument, features perfectly carved steps, leveled platforms, and precise angles that defy natural explanations. Professor Masaki Kimura, a marine geologist from the University of Ryukyu, has spent decades studying this structure and categorically states that it's artificial, built by human hands at least 12,000 years ago. This would mean that an advanced civilization existed in Japan thousands of years before official history tells us. But Yonaguni is just the tip of the iceberg. Off the coast of Cuba, researchers discovered what appears to be an entire submerged city at more than 600 meters deep. Using high-tech sonar, the team led by ocean engineer Paulina Zalitsky identified geometric structures that include pyramids, rectangular buildings, and what appear to be roads connecting different areas of the city. The depth of this discovery is particularly intriguing. For these structures to be 600 meters below current sea level, they would have had to be built when ocean levels were drastically lower, possibly during the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. But the discoveries don't stop there. Off the west coast of India, divers found the remains of the ancient city of Dwarka, mentioned in ancient Sanskrit texts. This discovery is particularly fascinating because it confirms detailed descriptions found in Hindu religious texts, suggesting that some of our legends may have very real historical foundations. Now, you might be wondering, how do these discoveries connect to Atlantis? The answer lies in the patterns that emerge when we analyze these discoveries together. First, all these submerged civilizations show evidence of advanced technology for their time. The Yonaguni structures demonstrate sophisticated knowledge of engineering and architecture. Cuba's submerged city shows complex urban planning. Dwarka reveals construction techniques that challenge our understanding of ancient technology. Second, all these discoveries date to approximately the same period, between 10,000 and 12,000 years ago. This is exactly the period mentioned by Plato for Atlantis's disappearance. Third, and perhaps most importantly, all these civilizations seem to have disappeared suddenly, being swallowed by the sea in a relatively short period of time. There's a growing theory among independent researchers that Earth underwent a global cataclysm approximately 12,000 years ago. This event, possibly caused by a comet impact or drastic climate changes, would have caused rapid melting of polar ice caps, resulting in a dramatic rise in ocean levels. Researcher Graham Hancock, in his controversial but well-founded books, presents evidence that advanced civilizations existed before this cataclysm and that most of them were completely destroyed, leaving only submerged ruins as evidence of their existence. This theory would explain why we find such advanced structures at depths that only make sense if they were built when sea level was much lower. But let's go beyond structures. There's technological evidence suggesting that these ancient civilizations possessed knowledge that we've lost over time. For example, the stones of Pumapunku in Bolivia were cut with precision that would be difficult to replicate even with modern technology. The joints between stones are so perfect that not even a sheet of paper can be inserted between them. Similarly, many of the submerged structures show evidence of construction techniques we can't fully explain. How did primitive civilizations manage to move stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons? How did they achieve such precise cuts in extremely hard rocks? Here we come to a delicate point. Why aren't these discoveries widely discussed in mainstream archaeology? The answer is complex and, frankly, somewhat disturbing. The current paradigm of archaeology is deeply invested in the idea that human civilization developed gradually, starting with simple hunter-gatherer societies and slowly evolving into the complex civilizations we know today. Discoveries suggesting advanced civilizations 12,000 years ago fundamentally challenge this model. They suggest that human development may not have been linear, but rather cyclical, with advanced civilizations emerging and disappearing over much longer periods than we imagined. This resistance isn't necessarily ill-intentioned. Science, by nature, is conservative and requires extraordinary evidence for extraordinary paradigm shifts. But sometimes this caution can impede the progress of knowledge. Fortunately, advances in technology are making it increasingly difficult to ignore this evidence. High-resolution sonar, unmanned underwater vehicles, and 3D mapping techniques are revealing details of submerged structures that are impossible to deny. Recently, an international team of researchers used LiDAR, light detection and ranging, to map submerged structures in the Mediterranean and discovered what appear to be extremely ancient port complexes with sophisticated design that rivals modern ports. These technologies are literally illuminating the ocean floor and revealing secrets that have been hidden for millennia. One of the most frequent questions about Atlantis is, where exactly was it located? Plato described it as being beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. But the submerged discoveries around the world suggest an intriguing possibility. What if Atlantis was not a single civilization, but rather the name Plato gave to a global network of advanced civilizations that existed before the Great Cataclysm? This theory would explain why we find similar evidence of advanced submerged civilizations in locations as diverse as Japan, Cuba, India, and the Mediterranean. They would all be part of a global trade and cultural network that was destroyed simultaneously by the same catastrophic event. If these theories are correct, the implications are profound. It would mean that our species has been capable of developing advanced civilizations for much longer than we thought. It would mean we've already gone through cycles of development and destruction before. And more importantly, it would mean we may have lost knowledge and technologies that could be useful today. Knowledge about sustainable construction, about living in harmony with the environment, about technologies we haven't yet rediscovered. What excites me most is that we're just beginning to explore the oceans. Only 5% of Earth's oceans have been explored in detail. That means 95% remain a complete mystery. With advances in underwater technology, it's likely that in the coming decades we'll make discoveries that will completely revolutionize our understanding of human history. Each new ocean exploration mission has the potential to reveal more pieces of this fascinating puzzle. So, was Atlantis real? Based on the evidence we've explored today, I would say that something very similar to Plato's description really existed. Maybe not exactly as he described it, but certainly advanced civilizations that were swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago. The Forbidden Ruins, we find beneath the oceans aren't just ancient stones. They're messages from our ancestors, reminders that human history is much more complex and fascinating than we ever imagined. And who knows? Maybe somewhere in the unexplored depths of our oceans, even more impressive structures await discovery. Structures that will finally prove, without a shadow of doubt, that advanced civilizations flourished on Earth long before official history tells us. The truth is down there, waiting for us. The question is, are we ready to accept what it might reveal about our origins? And you, what do you think? Do you believe Atlantis was real? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more ancient history mysteries that will blow your mind. In the next video, we're going to investigate something even more controversial. Evidence of advanced technology found in Egyptian tombs that might suggest contact with non-terrestrial civilizations. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, truth seekers.